ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मायं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासाहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for joining in today and giving your precious time and making yourself available to us every Wednesday without fail. We really appreciate that, Prabhuji. Please welcome to our group. Prabhuji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 2, 1, and the text for today, Prabhuji, is text 24. Prabhuji, I hand over to you.
Okay, Mother. Thank you very much. So recite those two prayers, essential prayers. Narayan namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiriyet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevya bhagavate yutam shloke bhakti bhavtina ashtaki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the verse 24, the Sanskrit is as follows. Vishesastasya dehoyam stavistesya cha stavishayam yati yatradam vyajyate vishwam utam bhavyam bhavocha sat. Translation. This gigantic manifestation of the phenomenal world as a whole is the personal body of the absolute truth, wherein the universal resultant past, present, and future of material time is experienced. Motherji, you can read the purport.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Anything, either material or spiritual, is but an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 13.13, the omnipotent Lord has his transcendental eyes, heads, and other bodily parts distributed everywhere. He can see, hear, touch, or manifest himself anywhere and everywhere. For he is present everywhere as the supersoul of all infinitesimal souls. Although he has his particular abode in the absolute world, The relative world is also his phenomenal representation because it is nothing but an expansion of his transcendental energy. Although he is in his abode, his energy is distributed everywhere, just as the sun is localized as well as expanded everywhere, since the ray of the sun, being non-different from the sun, are accepted as expansions of the sun disk. In the Vishnu Purana 1.22.52, it is said that as fire expands its rays and heat from one place, similarly, the Supreme Spirit, the personality of Godhead, expands himself by his manifold energy everywhere and anywhere. The phenomenal manifestation of the gigantic universe is only a part of his Virat body. Less intelligent men cannot conceive of the transcendental or spiritual forms of the Lord, but they are astounded by his different energies, just as the Aborigines are struck with wonder by the manifestation of lightning, a gigantic mountain, or a hugely expanded banyan tree. The Aborigines praise the strength of the tiger and the elephant because of their superior energy and strength. The Asuras cannot recognize the existence of the Lord, although there are vivid descriptions of the Lord in the revealed scriptures. Although the Lord incarnates and exhibits his uncommon strength and energy, and although he is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by learned scholars and saints like Vyasadeva, Narada, Ashita, and Devala, is the past by Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, as also by the acharyas like Shankara, Ramunaja, Madhva, and Lord Sri Chaitanya in the modern age. The Asuras do not accept any evidential proof from the revealed scriptures, nor do they recognize the authority of the great acharyas. They want to see with their own eyes at once. Therefore, they can see the gigantic body of the Lord as Virat, which will answer their challenge. And since they are accustomed to paying homage to superior material strength, like that of a tiger, elephant, and lightning, they can offer respect to the Virat Swarup. Lord Krishna, by the request of Arjuna, exhibited his Virata Rupa for the Asuras. A pure devotee of the Lord, being unaccustomed to looking into such a mundane, gigantic form of the Lord, requires special vision for the purpose. The Lord, therefore, favored Arjuna with special vision for looking into his Virata Rupa, which is described in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This Virat Rupa of the Lord is especially manifested not for the benefit of Arjuna, but for the unintelligent class of men who accept anyone and everyone as an incarnation of the Lord, and so misled the general mass of people. For them, the indication is that one should ask the cheap incarnation to exhibit his Virata Rupa, and thus be established as an incarnation. The Virata Rupa manifestation of the Lord is simultaneously a challenge to the atheist and a favor for the Asuras, who think of the Lord as Virat and thus gradually cleanse the dirty things from their minds, from their hearts, in order to become qualified to actually see the transcendental form of the Lord in the near future. This is a favor of all merciful Lord to the atheist and the gross materialists. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, over to you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, I'll repeat the verse for today. This gigantic manifestation of the phenomenal material world as a whole is the present personal body of the absolute truth, wherein the universal resultant past, present, and future of material time is experienced. So try to understand the verse first. Gigantic manifestation of the material phenomenal world is the world which we are seeing in front of us is called phenomenal world. And the whole world actually is the personal body of the absolute truth. Because everything is coming from Brahma. Brahma means Krishna in this context. Sarva idam khalu Brahma. The scriptures say, the Vedas say, nothing can exist without Krishna. So be it the spiritual world or the material world, means the world which we are seeing with our own eyes and perceiving is called phenomenal world, is a part of Krishna. Whereas the universal resultant, we can understand the past, present, and future of this material world. At least we have some idea. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport so many things, that material and spiritual world expansions are energy of Krishna. The spiritual world is also expansion of Krishna, and even the material world is an expansion of Krishna. And both of them, the cause is Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said that both the worlds come from, I am the source of Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, Matha Sarvam Pravatate. That both the worlds emanate from me, or the source of the origin of both the worlds is Krishna. Now, the Lord is the super soul. Krishna is called also Vishwa Atma, one word Vishwatma, that he is present everywhere throughout the creation, though he is stationed in Vaikuntha. In the Brahma Samhita, we find that very nicely explained in a couple of verses that he is present always in his abode. Golakeva Nivashati Akhil Atma Bhuta. Though he is far, far away, in his word is very much close to our heart as Paramatma. So this world should not be seen to be useless, as the Mayavad is saying. This world is also there, but it will be created, maintained, and annihilated. Very nicely explained in the 8th chapter. Krishna tells Arjuna that you look at this world, it has been created, it will last for some time, and it will also be annihilated. Bhutva pralayate. In the end, it will be destroyed. Each time Brahma is created, the world is created. And then when annihilation takes place, everything goes back into Brahma. Even Brahma goes back into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So we should have this picture that even this world, even for a devotee, this world is also the energy of Krishna. If you go to the 7th chapter, Krishna speaks of two energies, Apara Shakti and Parashakti. Apara means material energy. Para means spiritual energy. Now, what is Apara energy? Apara means inferior energy. Inferior energy can also be seen in us. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. This body is constituted of all these things. But besides that, also within us, there is a superior energy. And that is the spirit, or that is called Atma. So, we find that the Supreme Lord is present actually everywhere, in each atom of this world, really speaking. Now here Srila Prabhupada gives two examples. First example he gives of the sun. Sun is though in one corner of the universe, or fixed in one place of the universe, but the energy of the sun is spread everywhere. Just like in the daytime, wherever we see sunlight, we don't need to look up whether the sun is there or not. It is understood that sun is in the sky, so that the sunlight or the light is present everywhere. And the other example can be given of fire. For example, in a dark room, if you just light one candle or one lamp, one deep, then the light is spread everywhere. Just in one corner is able to brighten the whole room. In a similar way, though Krishna as Vishwatma is one, but his energy is present everywhere. Just like fire has two energies, light and heat. Krishna also has two energies, material and spiritual. So everyone actually, or everything is but parcel of the Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa means the universal form. As you read Bhagavatam further, we'll find that even the creation which is in front of us is part of Krishna. Like the earth is considered to be the belly, the trees are considered to be like the hair, the mountains are considered to be the parts of the body of Krishna. So this is the way Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining. So even for a devotee, wherever he sees anything glorious, everything original, he knows it's all coming from or emanating from Krishna. So I think everybody knows the word aborigines. Aborigines are backward people, we call them, who live in forest or who are still backward. They worship many things like mountains, trees, ocean, sun. They also have faith in God, but their faith is that standard. So here Sri Prabhupada mentions that Aborigines are fascinated by lightning. When the lightning is there, they call it as a warning of God. When they see mountain, they can say, oh, this is God. Even in Kenya, we have a tribe called Kikuyu. They worship Mount Kenya because it is in the part of their culture. And they believe that it is holy. Just like in India, we consider Himalayas to be holy. And we find Himalayas to be very pure. From Himalayas comes so many things. All the rivers, great rivers, Ganga, Jamuna, Saraswati, all these great rivers come from Himalayas. The origin is Himalayas, especially Ganga and Jamuna. Both are emanating from Himalayas. So, just like we, even though we have knowledge, we worship Himalayas. Sometimes people say that we do not understand your religion. Your religion is a very weird religion because you worship so many things. You worship plants because when they see us worshiping Tulsi, they say, "Oh, you worship is this plant your god?" Because they have limited intelligence. Then when they see the tree being worshipped in a Hindu temple, like the Ashwatha tree, in the month of Shravan, or even in the Kartik, or even in many days, then they say, oh, you are tree worshippers. Then they even mock us by saying, oh, you are cow worshippers. You are sun worshippers. You are worshippers of different gods. But it's very difficult for them to understand these religious principles unless they go through our scriptures. It cannot be understood. But if you go through the scriptures, then all the answers are there. Like the Lord is present in everything. Just like we all know that how Mirgari the hunter, he was not not knowledgeable, he's ignorant. But when he became a Vaishnava, through the agency of Narada Muni, and through the strength he attained by chanting the holy name, he refused to even step on an ant. The same Mirgari was killing animals mercilessly. So you see the big difference. When one gets the spiritual knowledge, which gives us spiritual vision, then everything is different. Just like someone who is a machinist who works on a machine and who knows how to repair the machine, if something goes wrong, he can at once check where the fault is. But we, who may be working in a factory or industry where this machine is being operated, we can at the most operate the machine, but not repair the machine. There's one nice example which comes from America, that once the main machine of a big industry stopped and they had to call the mechanic or the person who knows how to repair it. Because that machine, if it stops, then all other machines has to wait for that machine to work because the main product was coming from that machine. So when this man came, he came with his toolkit and he looked around the machine. He looked inside the machine and then he took out his hammer and then hit on one side and the machine started. The whole machine started rolling nicely. So at the end of the month, the bill came. And the bill was $2,000. So it's written that 1,000, sorry, $100 for coming to your factory for the transport, and $1,900 was for hitting at the right place, the hammer. So if you understand this meaning, we know that one who has knowledge can see things where they are, what went wrong where they are. Just like devotees, as they get experienced, if some problems comes, they can easily analyze the problem. Very easy. They'll not say this is the fault or that is the fault. They will teach you how to come out of that problem. This is if you have knowledge of spiritual life, spiritual understanding. So it's necessary we know all these things, that even the phenomenal world, the origin is Krishna. Here, two more examples are given of the aborigines. They appreciate the strength of tiger and elephant. Those tigers are very powerful, and even elephants are very powerful. But we know that they have big bodies, but tiger generally is very cruel, and elephant is very powerful with a lot of strength. But those who do not know, those who are faithless, cannot appreciate the Lord and His creation and His energies. Lord is omnipresent. Everywhere He is there. Now, for your information, the word omnipresent, the word omnipresent comes from the word om. Omniscient, omnipresent, like that. All these words come from the word om in the English dictionary. When it was written, formerly the word om word was not there. But after the British lived in India, they started using this word om. So anything which is present everywhere, they'll use the word om. So omnipresent. The Lord is omnipresent. Now, this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. If you read Bhagavad Gita, the 10th chapter, Arjuna praises the Lord, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, in that verse. And in the next verse, he says, you are the greatest, you are the most glorious. You are even glorified by Asit, Deval, and Vyash, whose name are mentioned in the purport. It's not that I mean, these are the people who accepted you as the supreme. These are all great sages. And even I have seen it. So even Narada accepts Krishna as supreme. And Arjuna, he knows Krishna is supreme. So for our good, even in the modern age, in these last 2 centuries, we find Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimbak Swami. All these have the same opinion, that from Krishna comes everything. Now, Sri Prabhupada speaks of the asuras. I think asura means non-believers, and asuras also means those who don't believe, neither in God nor in the scripture injunctions. So what do the asuras see? Asuras can only see what they can see with their eyes. If something is not happening in front of their eyes, they don't believe it. But there are so many things that don't happen in front of our eyes. And even if they are happening in front of our eyes, we don't believe it. They say maybe it was by chance it happened. Now it can't happen again. It's like the God or the Supreme Lord is a God, your order supplier. You can't tell the Lord to do like this or do like that. Rather, we are supposed to do what the Lord is telling us to do. So, many examples are given, even in biblical scriptures. Like in biblical scriptures, we find that there's an incident in which the ocean opened by the strength of a devotee called Moses, when he requested the Lord, let our people pass. And if you can open the ocean, we can pass through. So those who are believing in scriptures, they will believe that it did happen. But now, if the asuras are there, they can go at the same place and then they can say, why the ocean is not opening? But the ocean is not going to open for you, my friends. It is meant for when a devotee is in need. Just like in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Vasudeva was carrying Krishna. And we find at that time there was torrential rain, though Sesha was covering or acting as an umbrella over the baby Krishna. And Vasudeva was passing to the Yamuna. And the Yamuna was just rising and rising and rising. But since it was the order of Krishna, he obeyed. And by the time the water reached the feet of Krishna, Yamuna went down again. And Vasudeva was able to pass, because Yamuna then parted. Now, those who are devotees, they will believe this. Those who are not devotees, they'll say, oh, how can it happen? I've been to Vrindavan. I've stood near Yamuna. It has never opened. It can't open for you. It can open for Krishna's pure devotees. So, here Sri Prabhupada says, Asuras do not recognize Lord, his words, or the scriptures, or the descriptions given by his devotees. For them, seeing is believing. But not everything can be seen. As much as we cannot see the mind of a person opposite us, we cannot see the intelligence of a person who is sitting next to you. Even your own family members. You can't know how much intelligence is there. But there is intelligence. There is mind. There is ego in everyone. We can't even see the air, but we can perceive the air. I recall when I was a working person, once one staff spoiled things. So I told him, you are crazy. And he answered me, if I'm crazy, how did I reach the shop? It means I'm not crazy. I came from my home to the shop. If I know the direction, it means I am not crazy. I'm not mad. So people have their own arguments. Of course, people want to say, what I know is enough. But the scriptures, the difference between us and scriptures are very wide, very broad. Whereas our intelligence is very narrow. We can only see things what can be on the path and nothing more than that. And that even sometimes we can't see. How many of us have an experience that sometimes when we are walking, we even trip over some small stone? We have that experience. It means we can't see everything. Sri Prabhupada mentions another purport. The eyes are situated on the head. The eyes are not on the toes. But sometimes the toes seems to be seeing. If you have a sense of being careful, you can get that sensation that I should walk like this, I should walk like this. Also in the in the 8th canto in the beginning, there's a verse which says that if you are wearing good shoes, you can walk over rough land. If you have strong shoes. But if you don't have strong shoes, how will you walk? You'll be pricked or you'll fall down. So scriptures actually give us those strong shoes, give us the strong intelligence, powerful intelligence. That's why anyone who has read Bhagavad Gita at least once or twice, he becomes a different person. His intelligence becomes very broad. And one who has a broad intelligence is called a Brahmana. Mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, also in Srimad Bhagavatam, and also in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Who is a Brahmana? He is one who has a very broad and generous mind. And anybody knows what is the opposite of a Brahmana? Anybody knows? Brahmana means generous. So if someone is generous, he's called Brahmana. If someone is not generous, what is he called? In Sanskrit or in English? Anybody likes to try?
Kriparna.
Kirpada, yes. It's called Kirpan. Kirpan means narrow-minded. He thinks about himself or his family and nothing more than that. In other words, he's so selfish. His world is too small. If you talk of small world, everybody remembers the example of the frog. Prabhupada gives many, many times. That a frog in the well who had lived his life in the well whole of his life. But when he was informed by another frog who had lived in an ocean, he could not believe the amount of water in the ocean. He says, how can it be? Water cannot be more than this well, because that was his limited intelligence. In the similar way, we also have that froggish mentality if you don't read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. For example, today, we know at least 4 countries are at war. We find Palestine and Israel. On this side, still the war of Russia is going on with Ukraine. None of them have this broad intelligence that in the war, both the countries get destroyed, they get damaged, they're ruined. So many people die on both sides. It's not one side. Casualties will be on both sides, but war is never good. It brings trouble to everyone, just like the war of Mahabharata. After the war of Mahabharata, Maharaj Yudhishthira was lamenting and lamenting for so many days that just because of me to become the king, this big catastrophic war had to take place, the war of Mahabharata. So many people died, millions of people died just because of me. Because of me, so many women became widows. So many children became orphans. So many elder people are lamenting. Traditions will be spoiled. And now people must be waiting for revenge to avenge the death of their husbands, their brothers and fathers, and so on. So in that lamentation, we find Sri Prabhupada, the Yudhishthira Maharaj was Dharmaraj. Religion, we can call him as good as a religion personified because he's the son of Dharma. And he has so many reasons that this should have not taken place, but it was inevitable. The war was inevitable. So we find that as far as tolerance is concerned, in Krishna consciousness, we are taught the highest kind of tolerance. You remember the verse in the 2nd chapter? Matra spashashta kaunteya, sitoshina shukatukada, agama paino nityastam titikshashva bharata. That if you have read Bhagavad Gita, you'll tolerate. I was given one example here in Kenya, that it happened in the northeast Kenya. One of our girls had gone to school and they were playing basketball. You know, basketball, what do you call it? In which you throw with your hands the ball. And one of the girls got hurt when the ball she tried to catch, but she fell down. She hurt herself. And she had to be taken to the hospital because she got fractures in the hand. And the result was that the whole of her family, along with the relatives, came to the girl who was playing with this small girl. Imagine, it's something which just happened in the school. But they came home with stones in their hand and they say, we are going to break your home and your shop. You must pay us in the form of camels and donkeys and cows. So this is, it was a kind of Somali kind of people. They were asking in return so many things. So this is the mentality of people. They say, you did tit, I'll do tat. Though in a school, these things happen. You don't have to go to an extent that you go to fight and kill each other. But this is what is happening. This is a low culture and low understanding people have. But if you have a broad understanding, that if you know at least the Virat Rupa, Virat, the world itself is also Virat Rupa. In the third canto, it will be explained as you read further that each mountain, each tree, each ocean, everything belongs to the Krishna. Everything is the body or the universal form of the Lord. That is why it's also called Virat Rupa, universal form. And in one of the verses in the purports or in Bhagavad Gita also, there is a class of people who only believes in the universal form. They don't believe in Krishna. They don't believe in the Lord in the heart. They only believe in the universal form because they only believe what they can see. That's why in the concluding part of the purport, Sri Prabhupada says that the Asuras will believe at the most Virat Rupa, but they will not believe in God. When they see ocean, they'll say, oh, so much water. If they see a huge mountain, they say, oh, such a huge mountain. If they see a beautiful sky, they say, oh, what a beautiful sky. But even after seeing all this, they will never appreciate the creator of the Lord himself. Lord has created all these things to give us an understanding that I am everywhere. That's why in one of the sentences in this purport, Sri Prabhupada says, for a pure devotee, it requires an extra vision to see this Virat Rupa, because he's so personally attached to Krishna that he has to be explained that even everything else belongs to Krishna. Like if you go to the end of the 10th chapter, there's a beautiful verse which says that anything you see which is beautiful, amazing, extraordinary, it is a spark of my splendor. Everything is coming from Krishna, but we don't have that vision. So Virat Rupa, Prabhupada is commenting, is also a favor to the Asuras. At least the Asuras believe that there is someone who has created this. And it is a challenge to the atheist people, those who are non-believers. They will see something amazing, which not everything can be explained. No way. Like the science tries to explain in their own way, in a material calculation, but the scientists cannot explain in a spiritual way. Not possible. Very simple example. If you recall in your high school, the how a butterfly is born is explained. That formerly is in an egg, then it becomes a larva, a pupa, and then the butterfly comes out. And that process is called metamorphosis. So this is the way the scientists explain. But the scientists cannot explain how everything is happening. Where did the egg come from? They have no reasoning. Egg is also coming from someone who is living. It's not produced from some stone or something. Let's say you make a stone chicken. Can that stone statue of a chicken produce another chicken or an egg? Not possible. Or the grass cannot be created by scientists. One blade of grass. There's a beautiful verse in the first canto. We already read that one. And in that verse, he says that nothing can happen without the will of the Lord. Everything is happening by the will of the Lord. It is He who brings us together. It is He who separates us. And in one of the prayers of Kunti, she says, it is you who brings us together, and it is who creates fights between each other. You are the cause of everything. So this is the understanding of a devotee. So it's better to be attracted to Virat Rupa than the fake incarnations which appear every day in India. Sri Prabhupada says in a lecture, in some places in India, anybody can be created and can be accepted as an incarnation of God. And blind people, those who are blind to scriptures, they say, yes, yes. If he can do some magic, then people believe him to be God. But that person is not God. It may be God to maybe a few people, but God remains God. So this verse aims at explaining to us Vishwarupa or the Virat Rupa, that even this phenomenal world is a Vishwarupa. is the body of Krishna. If you have that understanding, at least your vision will be different. It won't be the same as you had before. So when we learn this knowledge in this section of Bhagavatam, we are able to see Krishna or perceive Krishna in every direction we see. Hare Krishna. Time is up. If you have any questions, you can ask. Or anything you'd like to add.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for this excellent explanation. Prabhuji, I just need one clarification. So when there is annihilation, everybody goes into Brahma and then Brahma goes into Krishna?
Brahma goes to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Okay. I thought everybody just goes into Krishna, just like in the Virat Swarup. You could see everybody in the mouth of Krishna. I thought when there is annihilation.
That is in the universal form. But the Bhagavatam says that during annihilation, all the jivas, because they still have their karma left, karma, the so-called, the karma doesn't get clear. That's why those whose karma is still there, and maybe out of billions, maybe few, maybe a handful of people are going to Vaikuntha. The rest have to go back into Brahma. And Brahma is sucked back into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, where they stay till the new creation takes place. And when the new creation takes place, all those living entities will appear in the same bodies, similar bodies, because they have still to finish their karma. In other words, they have to clear their account. Just like in the material world, if you are a criminal, until your case is not over, you have to go to court again and again, till your case gets over. So even karma is like our case. And in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 4th chapter, it says, Janma karma chamedipyan. In one of the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, he says, shortcut to clear your karma is understand or believe Janma and karma of Krishna, birth and appearance of Krishna. It will be cleared at once. You won't take birth again. That is guaranteed. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much for that clarification. I now open up to Gulekha Mataji. Kindly make your comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for this nice class, Prabhuji. Very deep in philosophy and it's easy to understand. Prabhuji, I have a doubt. So, do all the jiva, all go in Brahma or do all go in Garbhodakshaya Vishnu?
First they go to Brahma and Brahma is sucked back into Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Oh.
So in some purpose, it may be written that you go back to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Yes.
But it's done in a systematical way. That we, since Brahma has given us the body, we go back to Brahma. Then along with Brahma, we all go back. Of course, Brahma goes back to Brahma Loka. And then everything is returned, including Brahma, back to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, where we stay. If you remember, there is a verse in the 8th chapter, that during the day of Brahma, the creation is on, and during the night of Brahma, all the living entities are dissolved helplessly. The meaning of helpless dissolved means we all get dissolved, we go back to the body of, ultimately to the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Okay. Yeah, just like Mataji, I saw that we all go directly to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Together
so either
with
you
Brahma.
go direct or you go through Brahma, it is still the same. Because Brahma is also Jiva. He is not Vishnu Tattva. He is not a Vishnu Tattva. And a new Brahma will be created or is supposed, which Krishna will decide who will become the new Brahma. Then when new Brahma is created, again when he creates, he needs jivas. So again those jivas come out from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And as per their karma, they will attain that particular kind of body.
Yes, because nobody goes straight away to the Golok Vrindavan unless they are a pure devotee. Otherwise, we have to come back to settle our account, right? Because we still have our our karma
Exactly.
there. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Till
you.
you don't
Hare
clear
Krishna.
your karma, you can't go back. That's
Yeah.
why I quoted the verse Janma Karma Cha Me
Yes,
Divyam.
Samidevya.
One who believes or accepts my appearance, my divine appearance and activities, does not take birth again in this world upon leaving the body. So this is a very good chance we all have that we should take this Krishna conscious process as Shri Prabhupada has initiated. Shri Prabhupada has made it actually very simple for us. You chant your rounds, you read, you hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, you follow the process very nicely, and surrender to Krishna as early as possible, and don't give up the lotus feet of Krishna, so that in this very life you can go back to Krishna. Shri Prabhupada says this. And elsewhere in the scriptures it says, when a devotee says that, it has to happen. Because it has been spoken from the mouth of a devotee, then it will happen. So if you follow Shri Prabhupada's instructions, then the Vaikuntha is awaiting for us. We'll all go to Vaikuntha. But if we become faithless and misbehave and not follow the regulatory principles, we are risking ourselves. So don't take, I would advise, don't take a risk of coming back again. Go back this very life. Why come back? Some people say, oh, I will come back so that I'll deliver other people. But first deliver yourself. Forget about delivering others. We are not like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is very, very pure. We are not like him. But he is our Acharya. Prahlad is also our Acharya. We can learn from him how to glorify Krishna. And of all the devotees, the preachers are most dear to Krishna, of all the devotees, which Krishna tells you in Arjuna towards the end of the 18th chapter after Sarva Dharma Paritaja, that whoever preaches this message to others becomes dear to me. Devotional service is guaranteed and he'll come back to me. These are the words of Krishna. And Shri Prabhupada wanted all of us to become preachers. To become a preacher means you have to accept Krishna consciousness in toto, means complete. Have no doubts about it. Then you can preach. But if you have doubts about Krishna consciousness, how will you preach? Is that okay, Mataji? Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
Are there any other questions or comments? There are no more questions or comments. Since we have some time, I'd like to welcome Ajay Prabhuji, who probably has come back from Vrindavan. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, welcome back.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
You must have had a good trip, Prabhuji. Maybe sometime you can share your experiences with us.
It was hectic, Mataji, and at the moment I'm not feeling too good. Yeah, it was very nice, but very hectic.
It's okay, Prabhuji, you rest and relax, but we are just so grateful that you could go and come back and join the group. Prabhuji, we start at 5 p.m. Because the times have changed in the UK.
Yes, I noticed. I forgot. I kept thinking in my mind it was 6, but when I looked at the Zoom link, I realized it's 5 now. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Is the UK time changed, Mataji? Is the UK time changed back 1 hour
yes,
forward?
It is back.
1 hour forward.
Back 1 hour forward. So now it is 5:50 there.
Yeah, okay. Because tomorrow I have a UK class, so I have to start at 8 instead of 7. Okay, I understand. Yeah, okay. Till last week it was 7.
Yes. It just changed on Sunday. On
okay. All right.
Hare Krishna. Can I request?
Prabhuji will be giving the Gujarati class tomorrow. So it will
yes.
5 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
So 8 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Can I request Path, Prabhu? Prabhu, are you Hare Krishna. Are you able to
Hare
close this
Krishna, Hare
session?
Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept our humble obeisances. Prabhuji, one thing is that you are talking about the all the things is eminence from Krishna we knows in the Mahavishnu form. And at the time of annihilation, everybody is erased like a Mahatattva. And when again the creation will come, then Krishna or Vishnu glance that one, and so that all things which rest as a Mahatattva, they are coming again. So is it true, Prabhu?
No, Mahatattva is how the creation takes place from the Mahatattva. From Mahatattva, when is affected by the three modes and the time, it becomes into 24 elements. But when you say annihilation, it all goes back to Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So you are right in one way, but not fully right. Really right information is that everybody goes to rest back in Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And our body is a creation which has 24 elements. All this is material, but all 24 elements in one is called Pradhan. And when it's not activated, it's called Mahatattva. Now that is a technical way of understanding creation. What I explained is the physical way of creation taking place in a personal way. Is that okay, Parth?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your nice class. Also, thank you all of the devotees who are joining here in this forum. So I request everyone, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of His grace, Rukma Prabhuji. Please join. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare.
All
Anshakakalpa
Chakalpadurvasya
Yasya Kripa Sindhu
Kripa
Vaishnavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His grace Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, so much, Jace.
Thank you for an excellent class, Prabhuji.